What's up everyone, Roland Wolf here. Really important video lesson for you today. We're going to talk about one of my all-time favorite stock trading strategies. And within this strategy, I'll be able to illustrate a lot of things, including how to find potentially super explosive stocks, but then more importantly, how to position yourself within them to take advantage of them, because they're still very dangerous. Just like anything that goes up very fast, most of them are going to go down very fast. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because after we go through the setup and how I found the play, we're going to go through a live example from today of me trading this exact setup and making over $7,000 buying a stock within this realm of trading. Okay, so stick around to the end. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. And let's just jump right into it. The stock that we're talking about and the setup that I'm talking about. Okay, AVGR is the ticker today. The setup, it is one that I created back in 2017. It is one of the all-time, in my opinion, one of the all-time best long scenarios possible, okay? This is AVGR. They did a reverse split, a 1-for-15 reverse split on September 13th, okay? I call this the reverse split pump, and I have been trading this strategy since 2017 in one way or another, outside of a couple years between 2020 and 2021, which we're going to talk about here in a second. That being said, these stocks, okay, when you're trading small cap, when you're trading mid cap stocks that are in danger of becoming small caps, they have to maintain $1, okay? These stocks have to maintain $1, and if they don't, they get a delisting notice, okay, specifically for NASDAQ stocks. They get a delisting notice saying, hey, you guys got to get back over $1 or you're going to be delisted. Generally speaking, there are rules that govern this, but they have 180 days to get that, to give their reply. They give a plan to NASDAQ, and this is the plan. They do a reverse split. For those who don't know what it is, you should, okay? Essentially what they're going to do is, in this case, AVGR, they did a 1-for-15 reverse split. That means prior to the split, so on 9/12, right here on this day, they were actually trading at 15 times lower price, okay? And 15 times higher float. So what they're going to do is they're going to take the price, they're going to multiply it by 15, and that will get their stock price over $1. But because they're also dividing the share count by an equal amount, there's no change in market cap, okay? So there's no change in market cap. They're just trading at a higher price with a lower float. That is the general way that these companies get back over $1, okay? Now, within that scenario, they do a split. Well, they've got to hold $1. So as they fade towards $1, it behooves them to put out a PR, essentially. This is what the whole scenario is based on. And this is something that I discovered back in 2017 because I was tracking my trades, and every single big parabolic that I saw in 2016 and 17 came somewhat close to a reverse split. Ever since then, anytime a ticker does a split, I've kept eyes on it. And I've tracked them throughout the last 6 or 7 years now at this point. Okay? Very, very important scenario. It used to be these stocks would do a split, and I'm talking about prior to 2020, 2019 even. They would do a split, they would fade to $1. And as they faded to $1, I would get really excited because I knew they had $1 floor. So once they do the split, they still have to hold $1. They have to regain compliance in NASDAQ. They have to regain the price of $1 and maintain it for 10 days straight, okay? So the second that these tickers do a split, you've got 10 days, okay? And they fade. They used to fade towards $1. They would put out a PR out. I could load them up towards $1 and get almost 100% gains almost every time, okay? Now, this strategy was leaked actually onto YouTube back in 2018, early 2018. And it did change. The pattern changed because everyone knew about them now. And it wasn't just me and a small select kind of group of people that I was mentoring at the time that understood this phenomenon. Because it was leaked to the masses, we're talking about fresh, low float stocks when they do splits. They become fresh, low float stocks with an incentive to pump, okay? Because of that, and because too many people have gotten involved with this strategy since then, it kind of bastardized the whole scenario. I wasn't able to get those really, really great risk scenarios as they faded towards $1. And in fact, what we started seeing was they would do splits and people were trying to load them. They still try to load them. And as opposed to these ones going down towards $1 now over the span of 10 days, we're seeing them hold up at 3, at 2, at 4. Some of them just start trending up immediately. And because of that, I've not been able to get those extreme risk reward scenarios on these trades over time like I'd like to. That being said, it's still around. In 2020 to 2022, because of that bull market, specifically through the end of 2021, but between the pandemic and then the end of 2021, it was massive bull market, okay? Because of that, we did not have stocks that were going under $1 and then needing to do splits. So actually, this scenario went away completely all the way through 2022, basically, okay? So that's what gets me excited. This is a strategy that's being woken up from a long time ago. And my students, we've been working on and hitting these plays for a while now, okay? But I've been getting a lot of requests to get YouTube stuff up for you guys, and I figure this is a great opportunity to get into several lessons. Anytime a stock does a split, usually they're going to show up on my scan, okay? This is what we got right here. Let's go through it. And in fact, we have one right here, Axla. Some of you may recognize Axla, and we're trading it recently. This went from like 10 cents to $1.40, okay? But on the chart, the prints say $40. They say $6. That's not the case. They did a reverse split, a 1 for 25 today. So you can actually take this $6 divided by 25. That's the price it was trading at this level. And the float was the opposite, okay? So you take the float, multiply it by 25. It was a really big float, really low price stock that was running last week. And I was trying to warn my students and anyone else who was trying to swing these things into the 1s and 2s that it is not their intention to maintain that. It is their intention to continue to dilute and then do a reverse split. And they did that. They ended up doing a split. Now they're in the 12s. So Axla, they did a reverse split today. This is something that I'm going to track going forward. All right. This is something that I track going forward. Watch for a PR, watch for them to start getting that pump on. I hope that makes sense. Every day I get a split, I track it for the next 10 days. And I've been doing that for years and years and years and years. At this point, I have multiple ways to play them. Because I'm actually competing with the rest of retail who are trying to load these splits and trade these splits. So I'm always trying to get a leg up on everyone else and find that edge and get ahead of the crowd. Okay. So let's get to today's trade. We can get into the P&L quickly. This is AVGR. They did their split 5 days ago. They did a 1 for 15 split, right? Here's my P&L for the day. It was just over $7,000. I was buying this, and we can get back to that so you can kind of get into it. It's all time-stamped and everything. And then we'll get into really quickly some of the live actual commentary I was doing with my Wolfpack students. So AVGR, they put out a PR yesterday. All right, here's their PR. They initiated full commercial launch of their Tiger Eye ST image guided STO crossing device. It's not a big deal, right? They did this PR yesterday in the morning. All right, and then they did this 8K in the afternoon, and then they released it again this morning. But that doesn't really matter. Here's the pump at 8 a.m., right? That's when it started running yesterday. Let's get right into the chart here so you can see. Here's the pump, and you can see it was trading in the 4s. All right, they had faded, very low volume, very illiquid. A lot of these reverse splits lately have been illiquid and have been fading, which I love. You know, I'm waiting for them to fade. That being said, in this case, I missed the full day one. The fact that they had spiked from 4 to 8 in the morning without me, I just missed it. Okay, I don't like chasing stuff. I don't like chasing splits. A very key level to me post-split becomes the split day high right here, which you can see it kind of held on the dip on day one. But I'm not a fan of buying into those levels. So I did miss day one. Today, it's set up for a longer term move. And we're going to talk about trend lines really quickly. I am not the biggest fan of trend lines. I don't like risking trend lines. I don't, especially with the volatility of the stocks that I trade intraday. So I don't like trading big, crazy intraday trends. Okay, I don't risk them. I don't like using them. I am aware if they start to develop something like this, where you get kind of a higher low and a higher low, not a big fan of risking trends like that. Okay, this one actually, day one, they took out all the volume into lows. They closed it near lows, and then they squeezed the crap out of it after hours. And one of the key things you need to see is volume. Day one did 42.8 million in volume, closed somewhat weak. Okay. They squeezed the crap out of it to 12. So that is an abnormal type move that we've got going on. It tells me that shorts are involved and we're being squeezed. And into today, we're potentially being squeezed and we'll be reshorting. Okay, that's what in my head where I go with this scenario. I've seen it many, many times. And we've been seeing good follow through lately. So that's what got me attracted to this stock. Okay, that's what got me attracted to the stock. And then if we go just very, very basic technical analysis. Nice line, dude. If we go basic technical analysis here. And I was purely trading this off the 15-minute chart this afternoon. I had eyes on the 1-minute chart as well and the daily. But I like to look at these through a more of a macro lens, you guys. All right. I like to look at these moves through a macro lens. So 15, the higher the time frame, the better. If I'm looking for trend and I'm looking for key levels that may hold. So we got into this on day 2 in weakness. Okay. I am never, ever, ever, and this is going to illustrate so many things, even though it's very general. Areas like this, okay, this high at daybreak here, pre-market. Areas like this, okay, this 11 and 12 area where most new traders are super excited to buy it. I don't like buying in those areas. In fact, I hate buying in those areas. All of those areas when I am trading become levels to take profits into, which you're going to hear just in a second when we get into the live, because I'm going to kind of wrap this synopsis of the scenario up. But I am not a fan of buying into highs. Okay, I'm always looking for levels of support to form, key levels. I'm looking for maybe some longer term trend if we're getting into day 2, day 3 to work off of. And then I'm adjusting my risk accordingly. Okay, so I was buying here in the 850s today. And my risk was there initially at low of day of 820. And then I was moving it along this trend line as we got into the afternoon, just so if for some reason it were to break a longer term, more established trend with volume, that I was just being stopped out, nice and safe. Okay, I ended up with 4,500 shares, 851 average. And upcoming, you're going to see me taking profits and how I like to do that. That's why it is very important that you watch upcoming, because one of the biggest parts of patience for me, people always talk about patience. And how are you so patient? That's what people ask me all the time. What you're about to see is I'm not the most patient. I'm just patient with a certain amount of shares. And then the more conviction I have, the longer I'm able to hold on to some of those shares. So that is what you're going to see. You're going to see me taking profits in a good trade. In the future, I'll get you some losing trades as well, so you can see how I would cut in these scenarios. This is not the safest thing. I have a lot more strategies. For instance, when I look at AVGR, I say to myself, well, I probably should have been long somewhere in the low 4s or catching it earlier pre-market. There are a lot of things that should have happened on this as opposed to me trading it in the 8s on day 2. But because it's set up, specifically the trapping it did yesterday, okay, all of this trapping that it was doing through VWAP yesterday, and then the big squeeze got my attention for today. Otherwise, if that didn't happen, you wouldn't really see me messing around with it. Anyways, let's get right into the live trading. But first, if you haven't, please smash that like. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps out. We're not sponsored by anyone. I'm just got a lot of requests lately to get onto this platform and get you guys some more lessons and information. So that's what we're doing here. So again, if you haven't, please smash that like, hit the subscribe. Let's get straight into the live trading. There we go. Come on now. Just take VWAP. You know you want it. You don't want to get that wet ass WAP. Some soaking there at 9:30. Take it out though. 30's gone. On to 3K shares. I got some off there at 9:30 again. Just keep locking a bit, just in case it doesn't get through here. We only got 11 minutes till market open, so I'd really want to see this start to get going here for a second, so I can just kind of dish the shares off. Just another little push into
40.
VWAP here.
40, there's 40.
There's 40. All right, watch it. Here we go now. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Oh, 44.
Interesting.
50.
Yeah, there was definitely some shorts trying to cover there. Undoubtedly. Down to 3K shares.
60.
Yahtzee. Come on, give me a nice bid. Give me a nice bid. No. Nice. Another 200 shares off into the 960s. Maybe get a halt up on this bad boy into high a day or something. That would make me super happy. Another 200 shares off into the strength. I'm down to 2,600 for now.
Look at all that volume coming in too, huh?
Come on, get my 980s.
Yeah.
Come on. Get my 980s and 990s.
85, 89.
Come on now. Yep, it just filled some 980s for me. 989. No, it didn't. Not yet. I have a 989 order. Got a 996 order. Let's see if those get filled. That'll leave me.
And you know they're going to have to pull it back a little bit from spiking like this, right?
What's that?
I mean, they're going to have to, well, they don't have to, but there should be a pullback, right?
Not necessarily. There should be, but yeah. Either way. Slept another 200 market order out, down to 2,600 shares.
That's trade.
And this is where I don't dick around too much. Like if I want to get rid of a couple hundred shares, I get rid of a couple hundred shares here and there. You know, I do have a couple limit orders for a couple hundred shares here in the 990s and 980s. 989, 996. It's only 400, so if those didn't get filled, I can still control the rest of my position. Whack those off, bring some other ones on. I'm down to 2,600 shares. But this is what I wanted, you know. Another 200 off just in case. 970s fill on that. Ooh, 980s. Come on, baby. 99. My 980s and 90s were just both filled there. So I'm down to 2,000 shares.
I don't want to say it. Come on, 10. There's 10.
There's 10.
Yeah.
Whacked off another 200 shares into this area. 800 shares left.
That's exciting.
1,800 shares left.
That's why we hold.
There we go.
Mr. FRAN.
Yep.
I tried my best.
That was pretty fucking good, though.
Yeah, that was.
Big smack off of 10 for now, which was, you know, pretty much my next target, which I got some shares off into, and I'm down to less than half of my position at this point. Down to 1,600 shares of 4,500. Pretty decent locks, right? From a 850 average, y'all. And again, I'm just working big picture. Now I'm just trying to get maybe towards, let's see if it can't hold and squeeze a little bit more. But I'm down to my minimum amount of shares at this point, you know? So I've locked in almost 3 Gs, I think. Maybe more than 3 Gs. I'll look at the end. Pretty sweet. I'm happy. More squeeze? You gonna squeeze some more? Who else wants some? So the whole thing is, if you're short from the morning right now, maybe you're adding, but a lot of people are like shitting themselves, you know what I mean? And I'm just kind of locking into it and not feeling any other sort of way about too much. Down to 1,400 shares. I'm going to let the rest of this play out. Let's get a 10 snap here. Come on. Let's go, son. You know, I waited all day and didn't do shit. You know, this is my only trade today, y'all. Another 200 shares into the 10 break here, into the 10 10s, 10 11s, whatever that fucking was. I'm down to 1,600 shares. So cool. 1020s. See if I can get some 1030s. $1020s and 1030s. I still have some orders that didn't get filled yet. Just a few hundred shares each. Could honestly, at this point, if I want, I've locked in enough that I could honestly be overnight on this. I could see this gapping up tomorrow too, just based on the daily chart and what it's been doing. You know, could very much lower high here, which would kind of suck, but I've already locked in. You know what I mean? That's the whole point, you guys. I get to lock in. I get to chill out a little bit. I don't have to do too much. Little 10 fail there. Didn't get the shares I wanted off into highs for now. Actually took my orders off so they're not sitting up there for now. I don't mind. Still have 1,600 shares. Well played. And so so here's the idea. I was selling into that strength, selling into that strength, selling into that strength. Now I get to sit through the pool. You know, stocks don't go straight up. That's why when they're going straight up, I sell into that. I sell into that. It was a combination of market orders and limit orders, 200 to 400 shares at a time, nothing too crazy. You guys saw me take profits twice into VWAP, right? Twice into VWAP, and then out of VWAP into 10, out of 10. Now I'm waiting for the pullback. We'll see what happens. You know? Fucking beautiful, man. I am recording this. Please God, am I? I am. I am recording this. I think I got quite a bit of the earlier session, but only Mr. French talking, not myself. I think I might have accidentally added a few shares on, bought a few shares on accident. Fat finger to buy for some reason. I don't think, I hope not, but I'm pretty sure I did somewhere around there. Maybe my only mistake, but nice 10 hold. Just my average went up to 872 for some reason, and it was 850, which means I did something funny. I probably added 200 shares somewhere. Let me make sure. I bet you if I do this last in, first out and sell 200 right now, it'll go down. It did. Yeah. So whatever my last order was, I must have bought 200 in like the 980s, and I just sold those in like the 1020s and made some more money, I think. We'll look at the P&L at the end of what happened on that buy. So I am down to 1,400 shares, 852 average, back where it was. Really nice hold. Really nice hold.
Roland.
What's up?
Bro, what a fucking
You like that? Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that, dude. I left, but I was done for the day, but I just
like that, bro. Beautiful.
I do.
Beautiful,
That's
bro.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Like, shit, that's how easy it is, but you, like, dude, you just got to learn this stuff.
Yep.
Monster fucking trade, dude. Congratulations, my man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I looked on my phone and I was like, holy shit, this thing's squeezing. So anyway, nice job, brother. Nice job.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. Let's see if my 1060s get hit here or not. 1 minute till close. Took off another 200. I've got one order in the 1060s, then I'll only have 800 shares left for a potential overnight. Again, when it closes really strong like this, most times I'm pretty inclined to just take it all off into strength and be happy, man. You know, higher likelihood of gap down, the stronger it closes. It's weird, man. It's totally weird, right? But either way, I'm down to my minimum amount of shares. You know, if there's any more action, I'll be able to take advantage of it, but I already locked over 4Gs so far. Come on. Come on. And with this, I will sit around for a few minutes after hours and just kind of manage the rest of it. Take off this limit order for a second. 1,000 shares left of 4,500. Cool. You know, equity market's closed. After hours, let's see. They could do an offering after hours. You know, there's so many things that they can do. So for me, the game is kind of, if they don't, it could squeeze. Everyone who has shorted right now is potentially underwater if you think about it. Ooh. What you gonna do?
I got a boner.
Nice. I got some 1070s off there. I'm down to 800 shares. All the way back into high a day, pretty much, you know. Which was my target number 3, because my first target was basically VWAP. The second target was basically 10. And then we've gotten to target number 3. So, you know, I'd be silly not to take some shares off into this target. That's the whole point of it. If I have some shares left, I've sold some into the dead top of this move. You know, that's kind of the way I like to look at it. The way I'm extrapolating kind of the channel that's been trading then, I don't see why I couldn't hit 12s at some point. Again, after hours or pre-market or after hours yesterday. I have the kind of position where I could just let this 800 go into tomorrow. I have an 850 average, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised to see if this gets stuffed into the 11s or 12s for it to pull back and at some point tomorrow be back in the 9s or 10s again. And then we'll get to see possibly this trend hold or not hold. And there's 1090s here. I'm going to, why not try to get a few of them off into 11 too. Oh, nothing yet. I haven't done it yet. Oh, I got 100 off into the 1120s through the new highs there. Cool, guys, right? And this is me literally just trying to maximize every single share because I don't want to sell them all right now, you know? And oh, my sweet Jesus. Hit my 1180s. Come on. Come on. Yep, do it. Hit my 1180s. Only 100 shares there.
Laptop.
Give me 12s too. Why not?
That's freaking awesome, Roland.
Give me 12s. Hit my 12s. Oh my God, 1250s.
¿Cómo yo te voy a chequear la cosa con este tigre encima de mí?
Say what?
Oh Lord, come on. And me, I could be really greedy here. I've got some orders off into the more 12s here, but just kind of whacking them off and having some fun. Got some more off here at 12. I'm down to 400 shares. And we're just gonna, this is just awesome, right? Fun times. Those 1280s, that might have been it. I don't know if it's gonna get back up there. You know, it's kind of gone to exactly where I wanted the upper channel to go. We might even see it gap down or do something funny, in my opinion, you know? So I'm just kind of taking it. It's fun. Could it squeeze more? Totally, man. And would I kind of regret all these sells tomorrow? Yeah, totally. Could I have done better? Totally. I could have held all of my shares till now and made definitely thousands of dollars more. You know what I mean? But that ain't the game for me. I just took off another 100 at 1190. That ain't the game for me. The game is that I just made like over 7 G's now, almost. Right? Gotta love that shit right there, bro. 850 to the 12s. What an absolute beaut. How many I got? 300. Hopefully you guys understand how that works. And once the trade works and how much patience was required to let the trade work in my favor. And then the lack of greed, you guys, you know, it's a lack of greed. Ultimately, I'm down to 200 shares now. But the lack of greed ultimately has resulted in, of course, I could have done better. But that, I'm just telling you guys, this is what good trading looks like to me. I don't really care how much I made or lost at the end of the day. All I did was, I know I had 4,500 shares. I had tight risk. So for the first half of that trade, you guys, I was sitting waiting to cut the goddamn thing. You know what I mean? For the first whole half of that trade, I was just sitting, waiting to cut, making sure that I'm controlling the trade if it doesn't work in my favor. But then I just sat patiently. Risk was never breached, moving my risk up slowly but surely. Trade works in my favor. Selling a VWAP, selling a 10, selling to 11, selling to the 12s into new highs. And now I've only got a few hundred shares left, and I could literally dick around or do whatever I want with them, you know? So pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. I expect this, honestly, to end up back maybe in the 9s tomorrow or something. I hope not. I would love for this to rip balls. Again, if I were you guys, what this tells me is you should be looking at reverse splits for the rest of the week and next week, you know, and finding places to load and being ready for potential multi-days on some of these things. How cool is that, man? Really great trade. I'm super happy. Super happy. Let's see if we can get a new HOD here. There's going to be people shorting this parabolic after hours, undoubtedly. But hell yeah, Sandra. That a girl? $12.50s. See if you can get my 12.79s. Fill my 12.79s. Filled my 12.79s. How about my 13s? Why not, for fun? I only wish I had 100,000 shares and held it all till right now. Yep. That'd be so much money. Down to 150 shares. It's not hitting my after hours orders at the moment. Holding up really nice for this parabolic after hours. It shows how many people were shorting this and just waiting to be squeezed, you know? But a perfect picture for you guys of what a macro idea looks like, as opposed to you guys just looking into the minute charts, you know? Bigger time frames with volume and key levels where I get to find a decent place to risk off of, and where it should get freaking volatile, man. You know, that's what we want. Volatility. My wacky price target in my head, looking at the chart, was in like the 14s, 15s, 16s, but I'm happy with what I've done here. You know, this is best case scenario for trading, you guys. You know, you don't have to get it twisted and try to make $1 billion all the time or take moves like this. And this is best case scenario. The only reason I took this is because the only reason this is working out for me is because I continually put myself in good places, not bad places. Feel me? Big difference. You put yourself in good places, you let the trades work out how they need to work out, or you get stopped out, and neither of them matter. All that matters is, oh, nice, got my 13s filled. Fun times, y'all.
That's so cool, Roland.
Got some 13s filled. That makes me happy. I'm down to 100 shares, right? And again, I only had 200 shares here. Do I wish I had all of my shares and sold it all right there? Totally, man. You know what I mean? And I actually don't. I mean, you could go back and do that math and do whatever. I don't do that game because I know it's unrealistic for me to get them all there. But I'm still having fun here, taking off shares into these new highs, you know? And I've been talking to you guys about this. When I take good trades, yeah, I'm selling some in a VWAP, I'm selling some in a high day. But hopefully, because I like to sell into the parabolics, I still have some shares because I'm sizing out. I still have some shares and I'm able to take them. And I'm able to have taken some off at 13. I'd rather have had 200 shares now at 13 than no shares at 13. You know what I mean? And that's why you've seen me, instead of dishing them off, and this is my trade experience, by the way, is I know when I start selling, I have a very big urge to dish off the rest of my positions. So the way I combat that when I have high conviction is by selling in really small chunks. Does that make sense? If I can sell in a small chunks when I have conviction and something's moving, then, you know, and that's what you will see. You will see the more conviction I have in a setup and the better it's working, the smaller the chunks I'm selling into each level and into new highs. That's pretty much the lesson for today. So I can take these 100 shares and YOLO the rest overnight for sure. You know, this is best case scenario for me going into an overnight is that I have a huge, I have a, you know, 60% gap from my position at the moment. It would have to gap down like 40% tomorrow for, or not gap down 40% because it's up in the 12s. It closed in the 10s. Either way, you know what I'm saying. I've got the cushion. I've got the cushion I want. That being said, a big part of me just wants to lock this, be done with the trade. It's a great trade. And not be greedy.
What was your average exit?
Don't know yet. I'm going to take a peek here in a second. Hopefully you enjoyed that live session. Here are the ultimate sells, time-stamped from when I bought to when I sell on each. If you guys would like at home to go ahead and reverse engineer this trade, you're more than welcome again. Hopefully you enjoyed the good, the bad, the ugly. I obviously made some mistakes on this trade, including this little fat finger 200 share buy when I was trying to sell, but it was no harm at the end of the day. An awesome $7,000 trade, relatively low stress with good macro and a good setup. Good risk reward, and then a lot of patience involved in terms of just taking off into strength and taking off into strength and taking off into strength. Anyways, I hope you really enjoyed this. If you want me to come out with more videos like this, please smash that like, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you guys want me to cover. If there are elements of these strategies you want me to cover, if you want more lives, make sure to go to the live section on my video. Of my YouTube, I have been putting out and streaming live for you guys on Monday mornings. Every single Monday, I've been doing pre-market prep for free, and I've been shooting some other live streams on there as well. But we're getting way more content to you guys in terms of strategies and ideas, and getting some more live stuff to you as well. So again, really hope you enjoyed. Hope you got something from this video. Let me know in the comments whatever you guys want me to touch on. I'll start getting a ton of content out to you guys. Hopefully it helps you guys on your journey. There's so much stuff out there, but just be careful, okay? As a general rule of thumb, if someone's pushing like breakout buying and buying strength and momentum, just be careful, okay? It's a very, very tough game to play, especially with the algorithms that we trade against now and with, and all the other stuff that goes into it. Understand where the short sellers are, understand all the players. I'll get a lot more into these details in the future. Again, I hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe until then.